Peace, love, and light, beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mamina. Be sure to subscribe, like, and comment below. And of course, tap the little bell for all to be notified whenever I post brand new readings. We're digging into your partner's triggers, which of course means that we might bring some of your triggers to the light. But that's what needs to happen because triggers are meant to be cleansed out. You're meant to dig deep, find out why they're there, learn from them, move on. We're tapping into the energy of twin flames and soulmates. Of course, lately the energy's been leaning very heavily into the twin flame. But don't worry, if you're in a soulmate connection, I got you covered. So we're going to be using, I feel like some past life energy. It's going to come through in this reading. I normally, when I got this deck, I wanted to get it. I was guided to get it for past life reading. So I feel like something about maybe past life karma or trauma, either from each other or someone else, is contributing to the current situation. We'll see once we get to it, but I'll be using the Frosted Petticoat Tarot by the beautiful Moon Moth Goddess. And then I'm going to be using my Soul Sister Fire Witch Tarot's deck, which is the Twin Flame Soulmate Triggers. And then I'm going to tap into the Under the Rose Lenormand. And I will have the Amazon affiliate link in the description. Of course, no extra cost to you, but I do make some coin when you purchase from that link. And I'll have the link to all these other decks. For the Divine Feminine solutions, because there are no problems without solutions. Once we get to the bottom of the triggers and what's going on, I will be using the Queen of the Moon Oracle. And for the Divine Masculines, I will be using Moonology. Those links, Amazon links, will also be in the description. So let's get right on into this. Let's start off with the tarot, shall we? I've already shuffled these decks. So let's just get right into the message. Let's find out what's going on with your person here. Why are they triggered? What's the trigger? What's the main issue with this union? This can be Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine. Whatever I pick up on, I'll let you know, but take what resonates for you. We have the Lover's card. Definitely sacred union here. I'm hearing the Meatloaf song. I would do anything for love. We have Seven of Wands. I keep hearing that. I'm hearing certain lines from it too. See why the Seven of Wands is here. There's Six of Wands. Okay, I'm seeing the picture. Let's get one more. Okay. One thing's for sure, speech. Lordy, let's not do that, Spirit. Let's not do the hard to communicate thing. Sometimes when it's hard for your partners to communicate, it can channel through in my speech, and that can be annoying. We have the Lovers, we have the Seven of Wands, we have Six of Wands, and we have Ace of Wands. One thing is for certain, your person loves you. That's for sure. However, I feel like with this Seven of Wands energy, there's something you're on guard about with them. And it's hard for them to communicate with you. That's what I'm picking up here. It's hard to really express to you how they feel, how comfortable they are with you. They want you to pretty much share that same comfortability that they started off having with you with them. And over time, they thought, okay, eventually this person's going to open up to me. Eventually this person is going to let me in. And honestly, it feels like you're still on guard. Like you're still defensive. You're standing strong, but they're like, why are you so defensive? Like, what are you standing strong with? Why do I feel like I'm barred out? I also feel like, and this is intuitively, for some of you, this involves other people. I feel like for somebody might have been in a third party situation. It's not just because there's three women in this image. It's something about either you or them at some point being defensive, or at least having this illusion that maybe you were so on guard, that you were so standoffish with your emotions because you were in love with someone else or dealing with someone else. So it's not necessarily that there really was a third party situation, just the idea or the belief that there was, because they couldn't explain why you weren't letting them in. We have Six of Wands. This person really, they want to help you open up. Six of Wands normally is that victory. It's the coming home with victory. So some of you are clearly in separation. They want you to come home, and they want to take be a part of why you come home. In other words, have the conversations, talk about what the issue is, help you help them, like this energy of can we just resolve this issue, because the Six of Wands is also about recognizing the people that helped you have that victory or helped you to come home. So right now, definitely some of you are in separation, living in two different places. I'm also picking up on I'm seeing like an apartment or a house, and somebody sleeping in one room and the other person sleeping in the other room. So even though you're in the same space, there's distance here. There's some type of distance in the same physical space. But it's not wanted distance from either one of you. It's not that you really want to be in this predicament. But for those of you who are in separation, there's some type of misunderstanding that you were so on guard or determined or defensive because maybe you weren't into them, maybe you were into someone else, and that's why you didn't let your guard down, and that's why you didn't open up to them. There's still this hope and this idea that maybe you'll let them in, maybe you'll have a conversation. That conversation might be hard though if they have this pre-idea. That's not going to be for everyone, but for those that's for, that whole thinking that you were with someone else and you know your situation, it might be kind of hard to communicate if they really believe that, because they're not going to take your first couple of I'm not messing with nobody seriously. I do feel like some of you were in a moment of a choice though. You might have left one relationship to be with this person. It's not that you cheat on anybody or anything, but you made the decision, I'm in love with this person and not that one. And perhaps that's also where that fear comes from. You made a choice for them. And I keep hearing Meatloaf that I would do anything for love. So I feel like that's either coming for you or from them. Like if they believe you're running around and you were with someone else or in love with an ex, it's like, but I won't do that. I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. I wouldn't hurt you like that. I wouldn't play you like that. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Ace of Wands, there's a chance for a new beginning, an inspired new beginning. I feel like you both spark each other's creativity in a positive way, but obviously when things are going wrong, going negative, you can also spark your creativities in negative ways too. You know, your thoughts make up your reality. Even if it's not necessarily the grand picture or the grand reality, it still makes up what you believe is happening or what they believe is happening. So if they're creating in their mind this whole secret lover, that's what I'm hearing. If they're creating that in their mind and they're being super detailed about it, it might take a little work to get them to realize that that's not the case. This is an interesting thing to pick up in this reading, I would definitely would say. I also feel like, again, I normally use this deck for like past life energy. I do feel that be it you or be it them, you kind of carry this doubt whenever someone isn't either open right away, or when someone has a hard time expressing themselves. This could be you or them, even though they're the person who clearly feels that you're being defensive. Whenever that takes place, it's based on something that happened before, some type of past life. And past life could mean literally a past life, or it could mean something that happened maybe when you were younger or in childhood. Perhaps, I mean, obviously when people feel a need to put up a wall, something triggered them to want to do that. Something made them want to put up that wall, you know. And it's just that person's blaming themselves for it. Like they think somehow you don't love them or you're not into them enough. Let's find out what you and this person have to say to each other. I mean, these messages could come out as you. These messages could come out as them. You could be cross-watching. There's definitely a lot of passion here. I'm actually picking up on a Scorpio, which is interesting because Scorpio didn't come out here. But I'm also picking up on Sagittarius and Leo. Let's see what these triggers are. I need to let go of these fearful stories. I keep telling myself, what did I just say? It's like they have this whole script in their head that you're on guard and you have this wall up with me, or it's not so much that you're necessarily defensive. It's just that, I mean, it can come off that way to them. And they instead of telling you, hey, when you don't let me in, when I ask you a question and you're kind of closed off, or even sometimes if you are being defensive, it hurts my feelings because of blah, blah, blah. Instead of just coming out and saying that, They're making up this whole story in their head. It's all in their mind though. But they're very passionate about it. They're very like, this is what's happening. So yeah, it can be hard to convince somebody you're not doing wrong when they made up their mind that you are. And they realize it. They realize spiritually at the very least that they have to stop inventing these stories of why you are acting the way you are. You may not even intentionally be trying to be standoffish. It's just you have your own triggers, you have your own traumas and different things like that, and you just have a hard time maybe expressing. But for them, it's a whole different thing. Let's dive deeper. What else is a trigger for them? They stress them. Look at that, man. Stress themselves out. This is I give your partner credit. They're not sugarcoating. I stress myself out. I'm making up stories in my head that you're doing something that you're not doing, but I think you're doing it. I'm investing a lot of emotion into it, a lot of passion into it. I want this new beginning. I want to help with this new beginning, but I can't get over feeling that something else is going on. Did you really choose me? Or was it a fluke? What's happening? Stressing myself out with these stories. Just stressful. Let's go. What else will you confess? And then on top of that, you told me something in the 5D that really pissed me off. I'm also hearing, I don't remember what it was, but it pissed me off. It was probably you in the 5th dimension snapping about this. Like, what do you mean that I'm with you? What are you talking about? I didn't cheat on you. I didn't cheat on the other person. I realized that wasn't what I want. I chose you, for those of you that are in that scenario. For others, it's like, I've told you and expressed as best as I can right now that I believe in this union, that I believe in this connection. Yeah, I can be defensive, but it's not because you did anything. It's some other ish. Somebody actually said some other ish, and you're taking it personal. You're taking it very personal. So you might have snapped on them in the 5th dimension, and they're like, I'm stressing myself out, and then you piss me off, and it's like a whole thing. You know, in the 5th dimension, people can't lie. Why ghost me? Just be real. So you might have pulled back. That's another reason that this 7 of Wands is here, this on guard. You probably realized, how they're reacting emotionally to what's happening, and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna take a rain check. I'm gonna go to this end of the house, you go to that end of the house, or I'm just gonna go back to my apartment, my place, till you figure out what's going on in your head, what's going on in your mind. Could have been what you said you were gonna do in the 5th dimension, and you actually did it. And I don't really feel, if you're the person watching this individual it's talking to, or even if you're cross-watching, honestly, whoever feels ghosted, whoever feels that the ghosting thing took place, I don't really feel like it was so much ghosted as you weren't hearing when the person said, I can't put up with this story that you're creating in your mind. I can't fight this story. Again, it goes back to that song, I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. I'm not going to fight with you over some fabricated thing that you're thinking in your head. Yeah, I want the victory of this relationship. Yes, you inspire me, but sometimes you piss me off. Sometimes you irritate me too, because you're not really telling me what's wrong. They're not really telling you why this is an issue. I think sometimes you catch yourself being guarded or defensive, or maybe a little too determined about something that they might take wrong, and you don't really hear what they're saying, but it's still something that could have been resolved in a simple conversation. And it just, when they get trippy with their stories, you're like, I'm over it. I don't want to deal with that. I feel like this is from some of you. I hate that I still cry over you. So I feel like when they make up these stories, when they have this illusion, this feels like a feminine energy. I'm feeling a mixture of feminine and masculine here, but this feels like a feminine energy for whatever reason. So whether you resonate as a divine feminine or you are fully a divine feminine container, I feel like you've cried over the frustration because you don't like being accused of something that you're not doing. Let's tap into the Lenormand. Let's break this down even further. It's crazy how much passion is here, how much fire. I feel like you both have a temper. One of you may have a temper more than the other. Like perhaps either you or your person takes a while to build up to the temper. We have the clouds. It is hard to see the sunshine when it's so cloudy out, isn't it? Also, this has King of Wands energy because we have the K of clubs, the clubs in the regular cards is the King of Wands. And then we have 6 here. There needs to be some motion. There needs to be some moving on from this clouded mind, clouded judgment. Both of you are kind of cloudy right now on how to resolve this connection. It's a sacred union. You really love each other. You're very much inspired. You want the victory. But it's whew, if you could feel that energy. It's a lot of just, it's too much temper, a little too much temper going on here. Somebody's a little too much in that Leo space. Sagittarius or Leo could be in your chart, or again, like I always say, even if the sign isn't in your chart, it's still contributing to the energy. It's a part of the dynamic of your situation and reading, even if that sign's not in your chart. But it can help you better understand why you're clashing. And again, I'm also picking up Scorpio energy. Scorpios can be very much in their emotions. We have the Lady. So again, I feel like that's confirming. Some of you you could be dealing with the divine feminine outside of your culture. That's what I'm picking up here. This could be you, because again, I feel like this energy might be the one who's watching. I'm also picking up possibly same-sex couples here with this as well, which kind of confirms with the Lover card having the 2 divine feminine energies. So take what resonates. But I feel like someone could be dating someone that's outside of their culture, and it's kind of adding to the stress of communication. Perhaps sometimes culture becomes the excuse for not understanding each other. Yep, we have the Lady again. I keep both ladies in for this very reason, just in case someone, dealing with a different person. I only do this when I feel guided to, and I felt guided to leave both the gentlemen's and divine feminine energies in here. So someone's in a same-sex couple, and someone's a same-sex couple. I also want you to realize that this is the ace of, pretty much the Ace of Swords when you see that symbol. So the feminine energy here, it's what's lacking is clarity. So that makes sense to me that it's coming in. The situation involves divine feminines. That's not to say that there isn't masculine here, because again, I'm getting masculine and feminine energy here. One of you obviously would operate more from a masculine energy, the other more from a feminine. And for those of you who aren't in same-sex couples, again, this can describe your partner. But both of these cards feel like they belong here. A divine feminine energy has cried over this situation, over the confusion, over the lack of clarity. It just feels like a misunderstanding that got too far out of hand, to be honest. And we have the Fish. K of Hearts, that's like King of Pentacles energy. I'm going to sit that here. I really feel like the Fish confirms your person being triggered by this 7 of Wands energy, because a person that can stand their ground and kind of claim their victory, even, like that, I can be on guard and I might even look beat, but I can still go. Like, I have my guard up. A lot of times they have this independent vibe that can make another person feel like, you don't need me. You just fought off all these warriors by yourself. You don't really need me here. And again, the 6 of Wands energy indicates that person wanting to be needed, because how does the person come home with a victory? They come home with the soldiers that were with them, or they come home with the people that contribute to that win, whatever that win may have been. So it's like that person wants to be a part of your story. And it's triggering to them whenever it feels like you're so independent. Even though this can be money too. It could be that you make more money than them. Could be that they make more money than you, and perhaps you're so independent and so stuck in your ways, when they want to do things for you, you're like, no, I'm good. I don't need anything. I'm fine. And it just makes them feel like, what can I do for you? What can I do for you? How can you allow me in? So honestly, the miscommunication here of this situation, it really feels like, intuitively, it really feels like it's a lack of you allowing the other person in a little bit. Or again, you could be cross reading. This could be what's happening, from the other perspective. But it's a simple sit down and have a genuine talk and listen to each other. Don't over talk each other, really hear each other. Don't assume, don't make assumptions. Just really listen. Let's get into the divine feminine solution. Again, I am still picking up masculine male here, but I do feel like there's some same-sex couples here, mainly 2 feminines. But of course, you know your situation. Take what resonates for you. Let's get into the feminine energy. What's the solution here, Spirit? Thank you. Resilience. Before I go any further, let's tap into the masculine. As the person who operates from the masculine energy, what's the solution here to this problem? What's the solution? Pisces. Balance, spirituality, practicality. The masculine energy here, regardless what part of this scenario that energy plays into, needs to balance themselves out through meditation, through some type of maybe even yoga, some type of spiritual balancing. Because right now, all this passion has them in very deep in their emotions. And again, I keep picking up on a Scorpio. So even though this came out Pisces, someone could be a Pisces. I keep picking up on Scorpio. Scorpios and Pisces can both be, they can go really deep into their emotions. But when this person, when they're too much in their head or too much in their feelings without actually thinking clearly, it feels like you're dealing with two different people. So that would explain that Pisces energy. It feels like one minute it's like, I love you unconditionally. And then the next minute it's like, I'm accusing you of things you're not doing. Because that's what this energy really feels like with this masculine here. But whether this is you or them, balancing oneself, tapping into your spirit, shadow work, it helps you to clear your mind. And you can be more practical about this situation, should this be your energy. And for the divine feminine, the resilience here, there's some burdens that you need to let go of. And this is a mixed energy here. So again, you could be the feminine, you could be the masculine, but there's some burdens that need to be let go of so that you can properly let your guard down and allow this person in the right way and clear up all these clouds and misunderstandings. Whatever the financial role that this, again, I feel like somebody probably makes a bit more money than the other. And either somebody just wants to take care of an individual and you're being stubborn, you're not letting them, or vice versa. Maybe you want to take care of them and they're being stubborn. But all of this is fixable. This is a fixable thing, especially when you're dealing with a person that can admit, I'm fearful. I'm stressing myself out. So I must be stressing you out because I'm stressing myself. I did get mad at you for real because, you said something in the fifth dimension, and perhaps you're new to this journey and you had no idea what the hell they were talking about. Like, fifth dimension, what? Now you do because you're watching this reading, but you may have not known what that meant at first, and that made you pull away, and they're like, why did you ghost me? You could just be real and tell me what the problem is. And you might be feeling like, how can I tell you what the problem is if you think I'm doing something I'm not? I found this to be a very interesting reading with the cards that came out. Let's see if we get anything else. I'm feeling compelled to see if we get something else. Balance. Temperance. Boom. Balance your energies, my loves. And that was your reading. I pray that gave you some clarity and some guidance on your situation. Allow yourself to accept, it's bottom of the deck, new beginnings. And we have a full moon coming up because I think I might post this right the day of the full moon, actually. This might not upload until the next day, and that'll be the day of the full moon, the 29th, I believe. So this is a great time to cleanse all of this out. Go within yourself, work on yourself to cleanse it out. And we have nothing is set in stone yet. So this card has a very deep meaning, just on so many levels. But understand that this problem, the trigger, it's not set in stone. You can fix this. You can remedy this problem in this situation. Sometimes you got to let the tides take you to where you need to be. Sometimes you have to allow yourself to let go and let flow. Instead of always worrying about what shore you may crash up upon and thinking that something's an inevitable end, it's unfixable, it's too cloudy, it's too many problems, the person's too independent, oh, money, this, that, and the third. And again, with this energy here, you could be dealing with someone, you could be a divine masculine dealing with someone of a different ethnic. And so sometimes you or them might be using culture as an excuse to not communicate. That's not an excuse. You can still communicate. Peace, love, and blessings, beautiful souls, to your unions.